Hi, this is Bobby Cobb, and I'm here with another Adam speaker preview. On the line with me today is White Eagle. She's a medicine woman based in Homer, Alaska. But today we're catching her in Hawaii. She's in the middle of teaching her crystal skull method to a bunch of new students. And leap year, the extra day of the year when we're recording this, just happened to work out that it fit in beautifully. And we're excited to have her coming on March the 15th. She's going to be up here for the Whole Life Festival talking to us. So White Eagle, welcome. I'm really excited that you're coming back up here. And I would love for you to share a little bit about what you're going to be discussing both at the Adams Center as well as the Whole Life Festival. So aloha.
Aloha, which is love is here, love is there, and love is everywhere. I know that the Hawaiians that I've spoken to, the kahunas, say that their story of Adam and Eve, which they have different names for, never left Eden. I think that is just such a beautiful statement about this place. So for those of you that are ever called to do hands-on healing, this training that we're doing here, we're between the two trainings, two 12-day trainings, is phenomenal, and in a phenomenal location that we've spent the last decade coming here and working with the kahunas and the kumus locally and all the sacred sites here, as well as deepening this method. So we just finished one group and we're doing our level 2, our first group through level 2. We did 3 years of level 1. So, but coming to Anchorage is always kind of on the backside of this. So I always land tan into Anchorage, which is nice, a little jealousy for everybody, right?
Yeah.
Oh my God. And I have been in Alaska 40 years and love Alaska. I was a wilderness guide for many, many years. And so Alaska is my love. And I've also now, as I turn 60 on this vacation, in the beginning of this school, and spending some time building my mana here in Hawaii each winter with our schools. And we are at a very, very powerful wave on Earth right now. And I think many of us know it, we can feel it. It was signaled to us in 2012 that that would be the closing of a pulse. And we started to feel it, but very, very slowly. And it wasn't until 5 years later, they told us that we would have to make choices to be in the right place at the right time, doing the right thing for the right reason, for the right person the first time.
Wow.
That's a word in Hawaiian known as kina ole. It's perfect alignment. We need to be in alignment. This is the ultimate word. And now we come into 2020. So I want to kind of lead into 2020 so I can prepare you for this lecture. And that is, we got the first wave happening around 2016. We all started to feel something happening between 2016 and 18. And our volcano here in Hawaii went in that year, and there was big changes, and we're having mudslides now in Peru and all sorts of things. We know that that's heating up. And what does that mean to us in 2020? We're saying 2020 vision, 2020 perception. And this perception in shamanism, we understand perceiving things, not just visually. It's not just a visual thing in shamanism. There's 4 different ways of seeing, which is more related to our other senses. But we're being asked, it's like we're being asked to take the binoculars that we've had, and when you get a pair on, you're always adjusting it so that the 2 become 1 eye.
Yeah.
This is exactly what we're being asked to do in moving out of polarities, while still living in them. What does that mean? How do we move in the eye of that hurricane? Or for me, it's the figure 8. We do a lot of breath work with the figure 8 and that X between them. How do we jump in there, allowing that loop to go through our body? We do this in the lungs to free the lungs and the heart up. We do it in the brain for the right and left hemispheres. this breath work, and how do we jump in there and neutralize our polarities, because that is what's bringing down the planet right now. We are not willing to move from the throat chakra, which is the fifth world that we're in, to the sixth world of the third eye. And this is a jump. The fifth world is all about the internet. It's about communication and meeting people on the other side of the planet and showing our oneness. But that means a perception of oneness. That's a completely different thing. And the breath work is so important because it's accessible to all of us. So I'm going to be covering the breath work that we need to work with to help us, how shamans understand seeing, and how you can correct your vision for 2020. If we don't correct that vision, we will have more illness. I mean, I went through an unbelievable story, as you know, 21 days in the hospital, which was so unique for me as a practitioner of wellness to be in Western medicine. Totally transformed my perceptions. And you know that I nearly died in that experience. So, and I'm going to speak to those specific skill sets that got me through, a absolutely elevated situation on all fronts. There was no chakra that was not pierced in my body. I had well over 150 needles into my face, into my groin, up my arms. And here I am, 4 months, 6 months later, And these kinds of teachings will come to us more and more, not because we're being penalized, but because we're being perfected in our ability to manage our kundalini, our life force, and the life force that the planet is rolling on through us. So that responsibility is being heightened. We have chosen to say, yes, we're ready to have more instant manifestation of our thoughts. So that kundalini, that life force that's being moved through us, is just showing us where we're out of balance. And we should say, thank you, instead of I'm a victim. Thank you, because now I can learn what I've been doing that hasn't been working.
Yeah.
That hasn't been aligned with divine source of who I am. 100% accountability. And I heard in all of our channelings from the grandparents, I call them the grandparents, you can call them the ascended master, whatever you want to call them, that's our native way of
whatever label that you're comfortable with.
Yeah, your guidance.
Yeah.
We are hearing that they are wondering if we are ready for instant manifestation. And they're trying to give us all the skill sets, all the breath work, all the spiritual practices. That's why they're being shared worldwide at this time. And we're getting the book of life back instead of the Torah over here and Native American. We're getting to bring them all together because we need them. They're all part of the book of life to help us take full responsibility for being God on earth.
I love that. That's beautiful.
Very specifically about these 4 ways that shamanism understands perceiving, so that we can start paying attention more, because we have other ways of seeing things than just this.
Yeah.
Okay? Because we're such a visual culture, it's like TV, entertain me, give me the answer. And also to be able to utilize these breath techniques, and isn't this wonderful? My little tear is going down my face because of my tear duct. And so moving. It looks like I'm crying all the time. Like, yeah, well, I am. It's all so
tears of joy. They're tears of joy.
I love it. And so we can come into this awareness.
Yeah.
This, instead of, stumbling around and not knowing what triggers things. I'm working on perfecting my diet right now. After I had this entire thing done, my nose and I will run twice as much if I'm eating something that isn't aligned. It's stuff that I thought I really could eat. So I'm going, well, I got to take that out. Every waste of energy will turn into something we don't necessarily want. We have to direct it.
Yeah.
And so this, to me, this breath work is, It's free. It's a tool in your toolbox.
Yeah, and it gets the mind quiet enough to hear these whispers of wisdom that are coming to us all the time, the guidance that's being offered to us so often. If we've got, too much internal mental static, we just, we can't hear it.
Yeah, absolutely. And this is the essence of crystal skull method. And the Hawaiian kahuna call them the beams of light in the brain, and to activate the beams of light for total health, longevity, and expanded consciousness. And we're going to learn a breath work that really aligns to awakening that pineal gland, taking off the calcification of it, and bringing that in total alignment with the heart and the navel, and all the way down to the perineum. And the perineum then connects us to the 9-pointed star, which is our Earth star. We're connected with an umbilical cord energetically until we die to this planet. Our mother's was cut, and then we grew another one. And our native people call that the 9-pointed star, our Earth star between our feet. And we're going to connect all of this. So it's not just up in the upper chakras, but it's all the way integrated in our body, mind, and soul.
That is
Yummy.
beautiful. Yeah, it is yummy. It really is. And if you want to get a little bit more of this juice, and White Eagle and I were on the call for about 30 minutes, just rocking and rolling and talking before we even started this. And in the time that I've spent with her, it's a free, unending free flow of wisdom and communication. She's so tuned in. Her energy is so beautiful. Are you going to be doing the drum work again at the Whole Life Festival this year?
I'm going to do a lecture on teaching how to work with vibration with the drum to attune the body. And again, we're just doing attunement, alignment, and helping ourselves be more self-aware so that we can direct our energy in this time. And it's very, very important that we move out of polarity as much as possible I'm just as guilty as, all the Republicans, the Democrats, like all of the story. We have to move out of it. We're just feeding it.
Yeah.
We're feeding separation in every sentence we're making. And we have to take accountability for what's going on the planet. We're creating the polarity, and we need to neutralize that polarity.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean that we don't discern in a given moment what is correct alignment for us. And the grandparents moved out of right and wrong with us. We have to move out of into resonance. What's resonant? What's earth resonant? What's resonant with my own base frequency, which once we get in the knowledge of that, then we can stop saying, well, you're wrong and I'm right. It's like, this is right for me. Like, this is like resonant for me, and I have to stay with that, and I have to cultivate that. That's my responsibility. But it moves us out of this big judgment and big ego thing of, I'm right and you're wrong. And that's what's just really rampant right now. It's so rampant.
Yeah, it is. And in fact, it's interesting. You and I are very much of like mind. The language we use to express the things that we're feeling is a little bit different. But talking about the polarity and talking about the fifth chakra, one of the things that I have just been witness to is there is a section of our society who is getting so attached to the narrative that, if a Black person doesn't toe the entire line, it's as though they want to cancel them from their heritage. Or if a gay person is not buying into the whole doctrine and dogma, they'll often say, well, they're not authentically gay. And they want it, this cancel culture that is so attached to the narrative. And the work that you and I are doing is about transcending the narrative, transcending the polarity. I use duality, and moving into that, the sense of intuition where we are being guided. So,
and I think we all have to take accountability for it. instead of they are doing it and we're not. And I just went through
Yes, yes.
this enormous situation in Western medicine, which was my big, like, oh, Western medicine, you know.
Yeah, yeah,
And I had such stories
yeah.
about it. And, you know, as I went through this 21-day to change your life program, I call it, 21 days in the hospital, they met me with my alternative medicine wellness work, and I had to meet them and their greatness. And when that happened, I got the best of everything. And
Yeah,
when I was in polarity, it really shut everything down for both
yeah.
sides. We were all in our stories for a moment. And then I welcomed their story and said, I need you to welcome my story as well. And we can work. And it worked terrifically. I transcended things that, you know, were phenomenal. But that was from that spiritual responsibility that I had a deep polarity about Western medicine. And so that was my responsibility. And so I say, where else do I have it? Politics, here, there, and do the work.
Yeah.
Neutralize my own polarities, and because that's how I'm contributing to the collective. And so if I can't, there's no work to do out there, really. The grandparents said from
It's
the
all in
beginning of
here.
Crystal Skull Method, they said, go in, just
Yeah.
go in, you know, and that's plenty of work, you know. So, and that's what I invite people. I'm doing that journey with you. I'm not up here. I'm dealing with my own blindness and my own blinders coming off. And I'm just so blessed that, you know, I've been channeling for them for so many years, and they've given us such amazing technique and teachings, and very user friendly. You know, the grandparents often say, you know, okay, what's going on the planet is we swapped the engine in your car while you were, you know, inside at the store, and now you got a Ferrari engine, you know, in your Ford. Like, they do stuff like this to help us get it, you know. They're very practical. So it's not like so out there. It's like, how do I use this every single moment of the day?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Crazy
So
cool.
I'm happy to share. You know, Adam is like my second home, as you know. I come
Yeah.
and have for many years, since its very incepts long ago. I've been in Alaska as long as Adam's been around, and it was the first metaphysical home for all of Alaska.
Yeah.
And that it's continued to be is exciting to me. And I know you're going through a great transformation, which we all are at this time, to even get more honed in as a service to the
Yeah. Very
ancient
much so. Very
stars.
much so.
But you are such an important seed. You know, you're like the atom. You know, you're like that central
Yeah.
seed for this state, and it's an honor each time for me to come and share the wisdom teachings that I have been so blessed to receive for over 25 years of touring the world with the indigenous elders of the planet and all the ancient wisdom keepers. So mahalo, nui loa, as we say here. Thank you very much. And I look forward to snuggling you when we see you in person.
Yeah, me too. And those of you watching can probably tell, at least on some level, that this could go on and on and on. And you've got a great opportunity if you want to dig a little bit deeper with White Eagle, both at the Whole Life Festival, which is March the 14th and 15th, and at the Adams Center on the 15th. There's going to be a lot of opportunity to interact with both White Eagle and her partner Michaela, who are two beautiful souls. It's weird, when I was writing you the letter to set this up, I feel this deep, profound love for both of you. And as I'm writing that and kind of expressing that a little bit, I'm like, huh, really, I barely know them. I mean, I've met you both once, but the connection was so instantaneous and so deep. You guys are such both beautiful spirits. It's going to be wonderful to have you back. So the Whole Life Festival, you can Google. It's an amazing program that is done here twice a year. It's over 2 days, Saturday and Sunday, and there's an enormous amount of really powerful speakers and healers that will be there. And we invite you to the Adams Center to hear and interact with White Eagle and Michaela on Sunday the 15th. That will begin sharply at 9:30, or Adam sharp. We're working on our sharpness when it comes to honoring time. From 9:30 to 10:45, the Adams Center is located at 6000 C Street. That's at the corner of C Street and Dowling. So look forward to seeing all of you all, and you and Michaela as well, White Eagle. So thank you very much for the generosity of your time, and fantastic success with the second half of your Crystal Skull method.
Mahalo.
Mahalo.
See you soon. Ahui ho, as they say, till we meet again.
Ahui ho.